Hello and welcome back to the Linux Panic YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Ubuntu server, a long-term support 20.04.3, and I'm also going to show you how to install Nginx to host a website off of said server. Anyway, so at this point I'm assuming you already have your install media plugged into your device. I'm running this off a virtual machine. This will work for whether you're using bare metal or a virtual machine as well. So this is just the installer. We're just going to go, yes, I want the English language. I do not want to update at the moment. Yes, I'm using an English variant keyboard. Yes, that is correct. That is the IP address assigned by VirtualBox. I'm more than happy with that IP address. No, I do not have a proxy. We'll use that mirror address. We will use the entire disk available, which is 30 gigabytes in my case. And then from there, we're just going to go, yep, seeing as it has not accessed nothing else. Yes, I do want to continue with the installation. We're just going to go with Nginx, 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 Nginx. Yes, I do want to install OpenSSH. I don't have any keys. You want to install this so you can then get FTP access later on down the line. To demonstrate, I will be hosting a server. I will be hosting a website from inside this. Of course, you won't be able to access this from the internet, as I have not enabled, as this won't be hosting full time. This is just a use case. I'm resetting up my server on a Proxmox machine at the moment to give myself opportunity to use my hardware a bit more. Anyway, once you've gone through the install prompt, it's just going to show you what it's doing. At the current moment in time, it's installing kernel, so I'm going to take this opportunity to have a coffee break. Okay, coffee break over. It has been 10 minutes, or for you, 3 seconds. Now, as you can see here, this is finished installing, so what I'm just going to get it to do is just say, hey, look, I want you to reboot. So this is going to say, hey, I couldn't unmount the thing, please remove the thing, oh god. This has been removed, so we're just going to say, hey, look, it's been removed. I did some funkiness there, but that is an expected behavior. So this is just going to go through the process of rebooting. And now we have a terminal output. So if you just give this a moment, this is going to say, hey, look, it's alive. I'm alive. Everything's alive. I'm turning everything on. So this could take anywhere from a couple of minutes to 5 seconds, depending on the system you're running on. The virtual machine I'm running has 8 gigabytes of RAM and 4 CPU cores running at 4 gigahertz. And has the capability to run at 100% execution, so this should go relatively fast. Of course, for first launch from install, it will take a little bit of time because it's just going through everything, making sure everything's okay. Right, as we can see there, we currently have an Ubuntu 20.04.3 LTS Nginx. This is just carrying on launching because it's started to say, hey, look, you can log in, even though it's not finished launching yet. Don't you just love it when that happens? Right. Nginx. Right, then this should just log me in. Right. Because this is a different kernel base than the rest of my videos, this is Ubuntu, so it will be running off the Debian branch. So for that, we'll be using sudo apt install instead of sudo pacman-s. So what we want to install first is we want to install Universal Firewall, so UFW. So sudo apt install UFW. Give it the password, and that should just take seconds because UFW is a firewall that works via the terminal. It's quick and easy. It just works. You say, hey, look, I want to open XYZ port for this purpose, and it just works. So just to make sure everything's working fine, we'll also install NeoFetch. So NeoFetch. Yes, I want to allow you to install use up 76 megabytes worth of storage. This is why I just love Linux. It just works. It takes up barely any storage, and it's fine. I've been having an issue with my Windows machine where it's just saying, hey, look, I need more storage. Like, I can't remove any more data off of my C drive. And it's like, nope, I need more storage, please, thanks. This is why Linux is better. It's easier. It doesn't take up as much storage. It actually tells you what it's doing. as we can see, OS is Ubuntu 20.04.3, long-term support 64-bit edition. Right, so from this point onwards, we want to download and install Nginx. So this one, again, will just be as easy as Nginx. Yes, I want to download and install you. This shouldn't take too long. As we can see, it is done. So at this point, we want to do sudo systemctl enable Nginx. So that said, hey look, I'm now enabled. I will now work at boot. Same for UFW. So what we want to do is go sudo systemctl status Nginx. It says, hey look, I'm alive. I'm doing things. So to get access to the files to actually put stuff on the Nginx website, we will do it via, well, we'll get to it via the file system. With this, it'll be cd/etc/www/html. I stand corrected, it's var. It's been a while since I've done this. My website's not been up for a while, so it's cd var/www/html, and then get it to list off the files. Here we have two files. We have one file, index.nginx-debian.html. This is your page. This is the default landing page. I'll show this off now. So just before we can make sure we'll make this available to the internet, we need to open up port 80. So to do that with UFW, it will be just as simple as sudo UFW allow 80. That'll then say, hey look, I've allowed port 80 open, traffic can go through from my side and be received from the outside. So from this point onwards, we'll now switch over to another virtual machine to then have a look. So what I had to do to get this working is I had to restart, because the IP address was trying to talk to it internally, so I couldn't get access to the IP address. So what I had to do is just had to go into the virtual machine settings and change the IP address settings around so it would be a bridged adapter instead of its own internal thing. So I should just be able to go ifconfig, and I now have a local IP address of a 192, so a class C instead of a class A address. So from this point, I should just be able to check to see the website. As we can see here, we have a working Nginx web page, which reflects what we saw earlier on inside var www.html. So what I'm going to show you how to do is how to change this and stick your own files here. So to do that, we will need to first get rid of this and go back to here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install git sudo install. This is for the purpose of, I've already put my website up on Git for doing this sort of thing in the past with my own server. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cd into var www. Now sometimes there will be read-write issues with HTML because it's a root file. So what I want to do is sudo rm-r HTML. This has now removed it. So what I'm going to do from this point is I'm going to clone down my repository for my website. So I'm going to go GitHub, go to make sure I'm in the correct directory, which I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type sudo git clone GitHub. If I can type github.com/1/website. Let's try that again. HTTPS // There we go. Took a couple seconds there, but that's fine. So this is website. So that's not going to work currently because Nginx is not looking for a file called website. It's looking for a file called HTML. So to fix this, it'll just be as easy as going sudo mv website to HTML. Now go LSLA. That file name has now been changed to HTML. So as we can currently see, the website, the web page look like this. Hit refresh. We now have a working website. This is what was previously on my website. This will now change in the future because I'm going through the process of changing a couple things around. Anyway, that has been how to set up and install Nginx on a server, on an Ubuntu long-term support server, and get a working website. Now, if I were to port forward this server and say, hey, look, to the internet, hey, look, this thing is alive. This is what would show up. Now, for this case, I'm not going to do that because it's not going to be up long enough to matter anyway. So we're just going to leave this like this. Anyway, this is the end of the video. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I'd like to thank my Patreons, Ashley and Reigning Hazmat, for being subscribers on my Patreon. You can see the link in the description to access that, where you can subscribe for as little as $1, and you can get access to early videos, thanked at the end of videos, and get access to a custom Discord, where you can message me and have a chat and see videos earlier. Anyway, don't forget to like and comment, subscribe so you get alerted for future videos. Make sure you hit that notification bell or YouTube won't tell you. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day.